Hi guys, if you're new here, my name is Kat, and if you've been kind of following our journey, then you know that I, my husband and I were planning on doing a gender peek, I don't know what it's called, at a private ultrasound place. And actually we were able to do that, and we had a really great experience with it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So at the hospital that my OBGYN's at, they will not tell you the gender until your 20-week anatomy scan. And I was like, but I know you could find the gender earlier than that. Like, what do you mean? And so I started doing research, and I found you could do that really expensive prediction kit that you can get on Amazon. And I was like, I don't want to do that. That's crazy. And so I found a private ultrasound place that for only $35 will tell you the gender. And they allow up to 3 guests to come with you. And so I was like, well, that's great. Now my husband and I can find out the gender together. It's like all the craziness in the world right now. My poor husband. But so he was able to come with me. When we first pulled up, we were like, oh gosh, the area is an older part of Orange County. And so the building looked kind of run down, and was like, oh gosh, $35, it seems really cheap. The building's really run down. Like, what are we getting ourselves into right now? Like, are we gonna go in this building and be murdered? But we were like, okay, well, we're still gonna give it a try, and we're gonna see what happens. And so we went in, and the waiting room area was run down, also, and pretty old, and was like, oh no, okay, well, let's not judge a book by its cover. And so we were being very open-minded, but it from the outside did look like it was going to be a very odd experience. But we went into the room, and the lady, the ultrasound tech, was very, very nice. She you can tell, loves her job. She was so excited to do ultrasounds. And I think we kind of got a little bit of a better experience with this because she was training another lady, and so she, I think, did more than she usually would do, if that makes sense, because she was kind of showing the other lady, like, okay, look at this, look at that type thing. But my husband had the cutest reaction because he hasn't seen in person the ultrasounds since the baby was like this big. So 6 weeks, I think, was the last one he was able to go to. So he hasn't been able to experience in person seeing the baby move and all of that. But he's been able to experience it through video. But what I found after him seeing it now is that he told me, in the video, I can't tell, is that baby moving or the ultrasound person moving, or is it like the camera angle? So he didn't know which were baby's movements and which were ultrasound. And then now that he's had this experience, he's like, oh my gosh, that baby is moving all over the place, because he's able to now tell that is baby moving. And so he was like, that was incredible. And so you get to see it on a big screen in front of you. And it was really nice. She made sure to show the profile, and okay, here's where you can see the little nose and the little indent for the mouth, and she even got a good picture of its toes were pressed up against, and so she did that. And then she's like, I've already seen it a couple of times, and she's like, your baby is not shy about showing it. She's like, I don't know if you guys have noticed. And I'm like, no, I've been looking at its face. And she's like, okay, well, and she moves it down to where it's between legs, and she's like, it's definitely a boy. And so it's a boy. And if you haven't watched our announcement video, then you're just learning about this. But in our announcement video, we kind of put, you know, hearts that are blue and stuff. But it's definitely a boy, and he was not shy at all about showing, to the point that she was like, I'm trying to find your face, little dude, come on. And he was just like, here it is, here it is. So he was not shy. I was a little worried that I was like, okay, well, I've heard stories where it's like the umbilical cord is like in between legs, and so you're actually seeing the umbilical cord, and I didn't voice those worries, but at the end she showed like the heartbeat, and she's like, and we like to do just a quick little sneak peek into what 3D and 4D looks like, so that you will know what that experience is like. So if you want to come back, once baby's a little bit bigger and fuller, you'll know what to expect from that experience, because it is a little bit more. And so she's noticed that if she does the sneak peek, more people come back because they're willing to pay more for it. And I can tell why. After we got out, I was like, do you want to do that when we're getting a little bit further along? And he's like, yes. So she did the sneak peek. And for those of you that don't know, 3D is where you just hold the, I don't know what's called, like little wand in one specific spot. It takes a whole bunch of pictures, and then it makes it into like a 3D image. So that's 3D. And then 4D is where you're able to see the baby in 3D doing movements and everything. So both are very cool. But the baby was to the point of, you know, so not shy about showing that he was a boy that she brought up the 4D image thing, and you could see, it was very cool. She didn't get a picture of it though, I wish she did. Baby did not like 3D or 4D though, and had his hands like this the whole entire time. So you couldn't see his face, but you could see the length of him because he was stretched out. His hands were like this. You could see his ribs. You could see the umbilical cord going up into the placenta. And then in between his legs, you could see it. So I was like, okay, it's not umbilical cord because you can see where the umbilical cord is connected and where it's going up. So it's not umbilical cord. It's definitely a boy. And so if I go back at 20 weeks and they're like, it's a girl, I'm like, you might want to double check. But it was a very, very cool experience. And we got a couple of pictures. We were actually only supposed to get 2 black and white pictures, but she loved one of the 3D ultrasounds so much that, one of the 3D pictures so much that she gave it to us for free. I think she also felt bad because our appointment was 30 minutes late. We were supposed to get there at 1. We got there at 1, and it was supposed to be at 1, so we got there actually about 12:50ish. And we didn't go in for our ultrasound until 1:30, so I think she also felt kind of bad. But let me show you the pictures. So there's little baby, and you can see his little toes on this side. And then that's a hand up there, the little nose and the mouth and his little belly. So there's one. Oh, and then she, of course, had to, give us this one. leg, booty, and it's a boy. And then the 3D. And, of course, his little... I dropped it. His little arms are by his face, of course, because he hated it. But you can see his little ear. And then you can kind of make out cheekbones. And then these are ribs right here. And so, yeah. So this isn't the one where he's stretched completely where you can see umbilical cord and everything. But she loved this picture of him. So she's like, I'm going to give you guys this one. But, yeah. So this is going to be kind of technically my 14-week update. Because this is kind of the only thing that's been going on. I've been feeling great. But I will show baby. And then I might include 16-week update and this one, but we'll see. So I think I am definitely popping. So that's sucking in, that's not sucking in, so it's barely a change, but I think I'm definitely starting to pop, and you can see like my hip bone right here, and where it jets out. But my hip bones, and then baby, my belly buttons are also starting to become flat, which I find really odd already, and it's pushing out right here mainly. Let me show you the other side. So sucking in, not sucking in, very tiny difference, and then you can see hip bone. So I'm definitely starting to pop. Ah, I'm excited. Okay, hi guys, and welcome back. So actually, I guess not welcome back. This isn't the start of another video. This is following the 14-week 3D ultrasound thing. But I thought I would include my 16-week update since it's not very big. Not much happened. I wasn't even supposed to have an ultrasound, but I ended up having an ultrasound. Funny story, but we'll get back to that. To start off with how I feel, I don't feel pregnant at all. Other than I officially cannot wear my clothes anymore. So I've had to buy maternity clothes, which is a lot of fun. And I have officially gained weight. So I was 135 after, morning sickness and not eating. And then I have now gained to 140. So I am 140 pounds now. So I've gained 5 pounds. Because 135 was my pre-pregnancy weight. But the reason I had an ultrasound done, and I wasn't supposed to, was because I asked about my belly, and I was like, my belly feels and looks bigger than what I've been seeing online. And so my doctor had me lay back, and so she felt my belly, and she's like, you're right, it is definitely bigger than what I would expect at this stage. Sorry, someone's knocking outside. Not at my door, but... and so she said, let's go do an ultrasound and make sure that there's not a hiding baby in there. And I about had a heart attack. I was like, are you serious? She said, yeah. She's like, a little bit. But we looked. There's only one. If I can, for some reason that video got a little funny. So I don't know what happened with it, but if I can, I'll insert it. She was able to find his private parts again because he flashes them nonstop apparently. But she was able to see that he's a boy. So 2 people have told us it's a boy. So I think it's official. It's a boy. And we do officially have a name picked out for him. But we're not telling. Sorry. We're not telling anyone. We're kind of keeping it a secret. We have family members that are very opinionated, and we know that if we tell them beforehand, they'll give us all their opinions on it. But if we tell them after, they won't say a word, because they'll know this is baby's name, period. And so, sorry, we're not telling anyone. But we will announce right after he is born what his name is. But yeah, that's it. And so I have officially popped, though. My belly is definitely there. So I will include a little picture. No, not picture. I'll insert a little video of that right now. But yeah, if you can't tell, I'm in my classroom. I'm having difficulties finding time to film. So I'm sorry. And I'm sorry if it's echoey because my classroom is kind of, empty. But yeah, so I'll insert the belly shot, and If you haven't subscribed, I recommend subscribing because this has been a lot of fun. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!